My name is Awanish Sinha. I'm a partner at McCarthy Tétrault.
My name is Caroline Zayid. I'm the Toronto managing partner for McCarthy Tétrault.
My parents immigrated to Canada from India in the early 70s with my older brother in tow. And I was born a little bit later in Waterloo, where my dad was doing his PhD in electrical engineering. He then became a visiting professor at the university in Lagos, Nigeria, doing a sabbatical there. So he went from Waterloo to Lagos, after which he became a full professor at the Memorial University of Newfoundland, and at a very young age moved to St. John's, Newfoundland, which I consider my home. Growing up in St. John's was the best. Newfoundland is the best place on earth, the most beautiful. I was so lucky to grow up there among fantastic families and friends. There was a strong Indian community there, a strong Newfoundland community there, and I'm very much a Newfoundlander and a member of the Indian community, and a hip-hop fan, and a Bay Street lawyer. So the idea of diversity is something that's kind of ingrained in me, and just my kaleidoscopic view on life.
I was born in England and lived there with my family. I lived in Jordan, and then I eventually came to Canada and lived in Halifax as a teenager, and eventually moved to Toronto when I finished law school.
I started as an articling student at McCarthy Tétrault in the year 2000. I was called to the bar, and I was an associate here in the year 2001. And one of the things from an early point in my career that I noticed and that I relished and that I thrived from was the fact that there was clearly a culture where inclusion, or as I thought about it then, diversity, was aligned with excellence. There was never a debate about whether they were competitors. The reason diversity and inclusion is an important principle to us at this firm is because we thrive on and enjoy success. We like being able to be the best in the marketplace and offer to our clients the best product possible. And that's simply not possible if you are putting blinders on to the limitations that you create for yourself when you don't have an environment that offers authentic selves for people to come through and give you their best work.
So I've been at McCarthy Tétrault my whole career. I articled here and then joined the litigation department. I became part of the firm's leadership in 2010 when I got elected to the board of partners. And that was really my first opportunity to think more broadly about how the firm was run and particularly what we could do to promote women in the profession and in the firm. You know, the whole question of women in the law and the advancement of women in the law really has been with me my whole career. And so I started to think more about it as a board member and realized that we needed to be much more intentional to move the dial and make sure that women are well represented throughout the firm, and particularly in the senior roles. And I think what became clear for me is that it has to be an effort on all fronts. We need to make sure that people who may not have seen themselves as belonging here in the past want to work here.
Inclusion now is not only about making us better corporate citizens and making us feel better as people and have a culture that engages us better as people, although it does all those things. It's about creating an environment where people can be their full selves and give their full energy and enthusiasm to the job at hand.
It's really as simple as that. We want to have the best people here, and we want to make sure that the best people, wherever they come from, whatever their background, whatever their demographics, feel that this is their place, so this is their place to succeed.
The future goal of all inclusion programs is to make themselves redundant, is to make it a factor that doesn't need to be discussed or monitored or acted upon where there are course corrections necessary. If we come to a solidarity on the idea that having access to the best ideas and the best minds in every walk of life is the best way to put together a professional team that can address our clients' problems, that ultimately diversity will truly be part of every aspect of our thinking, because all we are doing is always seeking the best.